Hello, Gemini, and welcome to Ultra Instinct Tarot. My name is Andres, and I'll be the one taking care of you for this reading. So I will be receiving the help from these homies. They're very good homies. And since the goal is to learn the ways of the Ultra Instinct, we are just gonna go ahead and get started with the 10 of Wands. Looks like you have a burden, Gemini. Feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. Is there a certain sense of responsibility you're feeling? An obligation to do something? To be a certain way? It's being heavy. You feel overstretched. The Fool has overcome many struggles, each one more difficult than the last, but now he realizes that his efforts are still not enough. He is burdened with the heavy responsibility of maintaining his success. He has many duties and people who depend on him. Success comes with a stark awareness that challenges keep coming, and all things worth having require blood, sweat, and tears. Accomplishment always comes with more responsibility. Even maintaining the status quo can feel unbearable. Is there always more work to do? What requires resources, energy, and time you don't have? No matter how much effort you put into something, it may not feel like enough. What are the limits of working alone? Ask for assistance. Your burden doesn't have to be yours alone. Others who care for you may be ready to help. Know your talents. Understand what you are good at and what you lack experience or interest. By valuing your own time, you'll know what is worth delegating to others, even if it just means paying extra for a grocery delivery or a cleaning service. It may be worth it if it means feeling less overstretched. Prioritize your tasks. Take things one step at a time. Work through your task by urgency and importance. So it sounds like you feel like you have all of these things weighing your mind. And they are real. They're there. But just try focusing on one. Saying what it needs. Do something if it needs to be done. And then that one's taken care of. Go on to the next one. So try to separate all of these anxieties and worries. You're telling me, no, I don't want to do that. With the 4 of Cups. So the Cups are of the emotions. The Wands are of the will. So he's willing so much, but eventually, it just weighs you down. Gravity weighs you down. So what are you saying no to? Is detachment, indifferent, lack of interest, contemplation. New opportunities are around every corner, but the Fool is too unmotivated or indifferent to see them. So you're just so stuck on these burdens that you are saying no to these new opportunities. I feel like I'm just really calling you out, Gemini. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But this is exactly what the reading is saying. So, stuck on your past and who you are and these old patterns that keep repeating itself, but you don't feel good about it. But it's also hard saying goodbye to these, because they made you who you are. So, but to say yes to these new opportunities, these new emotions, these new way of being, these new wands that you can carry that might be lighter, you're going to have to say goodbye to all of these and thank them for making you who you are, so that you can start enjoying these new ways of being. Yeah, clinging to the past. Exactly. You're clinging to all of this that made you who you are, and you're saying no to these new opportunities that are presenting itself, it seems, but you can't see them because you're so clung to the past. Here, let's read what the clinging to the past. This is the 5 of Cups. But we went to the 4 to the 5 of Cups, so I see some progress here. Maybe something's clicking. The figure pictured in this card is so preoccupied with clutching her box of memories that she has turned her back on the sparkling champagne glass of blessings available here and now. Her nostalgia for the past really makes her a blockhead and a beggar besides, as we can see from her patched and ragged clothes. She needn't be a beggar, of course, but she is not available to taste the pleasures that offer themselves in the present. It's time to face up to the fact that the past is gone, and any effort to repeat it is sure a way to stay stuck in old blueprints that you would have already outgrown if you hadn't been so busy clinging to what you have already been through. Take a deep breath, put the box down, tie it up in a pretty ribbon if you must, and bid it a fond and reverent farewell. Life is passing you by, and you're in danger of becoming an old fossil before your time. Yeah, time to say goodbye. And it's okay to say goodbye, because you're just welcoming in new things. New things that won't weigh you down. Cool. Conditioning. Yeah, patterns. Interesting. You don't want to be a sheep anymore. You want to be yourself. Yeah, let's go. Gemini. This is number 15. So this is a major arcana. This is the first major arcana. So since this is the first one, all of this we've been talking about, this is you are in control of this. Minor arcana are things that we can control, that we do over and over and over again, and not as like a punishment, but as practice, because nobody does anything right the first time. We're human. So all of these minor cards are things you've been going through over and over and over again, but only because you're practicing. These things are hard. Emotions are hard. Life is hard. But we're practicing. We're doing the best we can. Number 15, conditioning. So this card recalls an old Zen story about a lion who was brought up by sheep and who thought he was a sheep until an old lion captured him and took him to a pond where he showed him his own reflection. Many of us are like this lion. The image we have of ourselves comes from our own direct experience, not from our own direct experience. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Many of us are like this lion. The image we have of ourselves comes not from our own direct experience, but from the opinions of others. A personality imposed from the outside replaces the individuality that could have grown from within. We become just another sheep in the herd, unable to move freely and unconscious of our own true identity. It's time to take a look at your own reflection in the pond and make a move to break out of whatever you have been conditioned by others to believe about yourself. Dance, run, jog, do gibberish, whatever is needed to wake up the sleeping lion within. Unless you drop your personality, you will not be able to find your individuality. Individuality is given by existence. Personality is imposed by the society. Personality is social convenience. Society cannot tolerate individuality because individuality will not follow like a sheep. Individuality has the quality of the lion. The lion moves alone. The sheep are always in the crowd, hoping that being in the crowd will feel cozy. Being in the crowd, one feels more protected, secure. If somebody attacks, there is every possibility in a crowd to save yourselves. But alone, only the lions move alone. And every one of you is born a lion. But the society goes on conditioning you, programming your mind as a sheep. It gives you a personality, a cozy personality, nice, very convenient, very obedient. Society wants slaves, not people who are absolutely dedicated to freedom. Society wants slaves because all the vested interests want obedience. And that's feeling like a burden now. And we want to let that go. We want to be a lion. 7 of Cups. Ooh, how does that make you feel, Gemini? This is probably what you think being like a lion feels like, because it's so new, you know. Anything new is gonna feel weird. Anything new is gonna just be weird until you understand it. Then it's not weird anymore. Then it just is what it is. But let's see what the 7 of Cups. There's a lot of Cups cards, so it has to deal a lot with your emotions, the way you're feeling about the situation that you're in. 7 of Cups is Venus and Scorpio. So Crowley is definitely not a fan of the 7 of Cups. He says this is one of the worst ideas that one can have. Its mode is poison, its goal madness. It represents the delusion of delirium tremens and drug addiction. It represents the sinking into the mire of false pleasure. There's something almost suicidal in this card. So I think that false pleasure is the key here, the key word here. So that whole personality thing, this whole, what its whole card was talking about, that's false pleasure. You know, we think it makes us feel safe, we think it's cozy, but it's really not. It's false pleasure, and it looks like you're looking for a real pleasure. Just look at this card if you can. Yuck. What happened to all that great cup stuff higher up on the Tree of Life? Doesn't sexy Venus like to show off in sexy Scorpio? She does. She likes to show off everywhere. Venus, however, is not well dignified in Scorpio, and often embarrasses herself when she visits. You ask, shouldn't she be happy in Netzach, the sphere of Venus? Sure she is. She's so happy she's making herself sick. This is much too much of what was once a good thing. And this low on the tree of, and this far off balance, there isn't a single influencing factor left to remind her that the party is over. This card seems like the next logical step in the abundance, luxury, and disappointment sequence. 3 martinis is abundantly enough. 4 is just the luxury of showing off. 5 is disappointing because you're not getting high anymore. You're just getting smashed. But after 7, oh dear. The 7 of Cups is a stumbling dash to the lavatory just moments after you thought you were being irresistible to an attractive stranger. So yeah, that's the in-between of these. Queen of Swords. Yeah, cut it off. Look at it. See how... Look at how she cut the head. That's her past. That ain't me anymore. This stuff I don't need. I'm gonna just separate it from myself because it's not necessary anymore. I want to be a lion. Yeah, Gemini. Find the lion. Find who you want to be, not who society thinks you should be. Be yourself. Hug it out, bitch. Yeah. I think that's definitely with yourself, especially because, I mean, once you find out that you've been treating yourself this way, you kind of get mad at yourself, and then you kind of start treating yourself, the stuff that treated you this way, the same way. So just forgive yourself for not telling yourself for hiding your line. Yeah. This is the being alone card, which is exactly what this card was saying. A lion is alone, you know, and it's okay to be alone. There's a difference between loneliness and being alone. So yeah, alone. And I can't be alone anymore. Andy, do you like being alone with me right now? No, this is horrifying. I don't like being alone with me either. Before you do anything else, learn how to be alone and not lonely. If you are feeling lonely, face the loneliness. Don't run away from it. It's actually impossible to run away from it because you will always be with yourself. Remember, you are one. Be the one that you need. I promise you that if you face the loneliness, you might just find out that you're actually pretty cool to hang out with. Thank you. See you next time.